Prime Minister Narendra Modi from France travels to Washington, D.C. for his first meeting with the US President Donald Trump in his second tenure. Now, within 100 days of Trump 2.0, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is one of the first world leaders who he is meeting, and this shows the importance that both India and the United States of America attach to this comprehensive strategic partnership. This meeting with the United States and his meeting, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi described, with his dear friend Donald Trump is extremely significant. Of course, markets are a little spooked. They're spooked about tariffs that Donald Trump is threatening to impose. But India is already talking about taking additional energy supplies from the United States. Remember, Donald Trump has been talking about drill, baby, drill. So he wants to drill more oil, get more gas and export that. He's talking to Saudi Arabia to bring down prices. Now, with all of this, may just be win-win for India and the United States of America. More defense hardware that India may be importing from the United States of America. But what is in it for India? What are the big gains? We'll talk about that in greater detail. First, we bring you this report.
It is the most important anticipated handshake of the year. The leaders of the world's oldest and the biggest democracies are set to meet in Washington, D.C. The Trump-Modi Milan comes within a month of Donald Trump taking over as U.S. President.
The fact that the Prime Minister has been invited to visit the U.S. Within barely 3 weeks of the new administration taking office shows the importance of the India-US partnership and is also reflective of the bipartisan support that this partnership enjoys in the United States.
The focus likely would be on reducing import tariffs, increasing purchases of US energy and defense equipment, and addressing long-standing trade issues. The meeting comes at a time when trade, defense, cooperation and energy have taken center stage in India-US ties.
The Prime Minister was invited by the administration within the first few weeks of him being in power. I think that's pretty significant, and it speaks to the importance of the U.S.-India partnership. Now, it'll be a bit of an unusual meeting in the sense that these are early days for the administration. It hasn't really had an opportunity to focus on its approach to India. You also have a number of key posts within the administration focused on India.
Both the leaders are going to push hard to serve their individual agendas. But a successful bilateral is in the best interest of both the countries. Lisa Curtis, who was part of US President Donald Trump's White House team in his first term, says, and I quote, "Clearly the Trump administration is prioritizing relations with India. They recognize that India is an important emerging global power and really has the potential to transform the Indo-Pacific region and the world." Unquote.
Featuring past officials from the US government on examining what has happened in US-India relations over the past 4+ years, and also the hope for what is to be expected under the Trump administration. I think particularly on issues like defense, security and strategic relations. I'd say on trade and economic issues there was mixed. I think there was some more cautious optimism that the opportunities were there.
In his 2-day visit, Prime Minister Modi is expected to meet several members of the US President's cabinet, as well as US business leaders and members of the Indian-American community.
You know, Modi ji and Trump have met 2 times before. They had very good chemistry, good meeting, and I am looking forward to this meeting. It is so good that Modi ji is only the second Prime Minister who is coming to visit Trump after he became President again. The immigration issues, there is just so much going on, and it's important that Modi ji is here rebuilding that bond of friendship that he had established with President Trump.
It's a fantastic opportunity between the two leaders and two countries. You have to understand Trump is trying to drive change both domestically and internationally, and India is looking at more investments and technology from the US, and both leaders understand what are their priorities. They do have a very strong relationship and warmth towards each other. So I think it's an important occasion to set the agenda for the next 4 years between the two countries and two leaders.
Prime Minister Modi may also meet SpaceX and Tesla chief Elon Musk. India is keen to scale up its burgeoning electric vehicles sector. Musk Tesla could boost it. Modi and Trump could also address the Russia-Ukraine conflict, both committed to global peace when they spoke on the phone in January. Prime Minister Modi can reiterate India's readiness to help resolve the conflict and support the swift restoration of peace and stability.
We were treated very nicely by Russia, actually. I hope that's the beginning of a relationship where we can end that war and millions of people can stop being killed. They've lost millions of people. They lost, in terms of soldiers, probably 1.5 million soldiers in a short period of time. We got to stop that war.
A high-stake meeting that the world has its eyes on. The stage is set for the Modi-Trump meet. Bureau Report, India Today.
And I want to bring in India Today's Shashank Mattu for more on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United States of America. Shashank, there is personal chemistry between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump. I have reported both on Howdy Modi at Houston, Texas, and Namaste Trump at Motera, Ahmedabad, the Narendra Modi Stadium there. But beyond the optics, what is it that India and America should expect from a relationship that is win-win for both, given that America is talking about imposing more tariffs, reducing trade imbalance? How are the two negotiators addressing this?
I think that Prime Minister Modi is going into this meeting with Donald Trump extremely well prepared. We've seen reports for months now about the kind of preparations that India has been undertaking to make sure that this visit goes off well, whether you're talking about already in advance making certain proposals for the reduction of tariffs, getting ahead of the illegal immigration issue by making sure that India takes back illegal deportees, and also making clear to the American government that it is going to cooperate very strongly with them on this issue. As I said, tariffs are already making sure that certain irritants from the United States will be considered as well. So you've had that. You also have, of course, conversations on defense, as you would know very well, Gaurav, in terms of defense purchases from the United States. We know that nuclear power is going to be something that's going to come up very strongly in this discussion between Prime Minister Modi and President Donald Trump. The art of dealing with Donald Trump has always seemed to be that you have to be tough, but you also have to be willing to work with him on getting a deal. And that's a balance that the Prime Minister has struck very well. First, during his first term, he was widely seen as one of the few world leaders who managed a strong relationship with Donald Trump in a way that American allies were not able to. So now he will have to put that same playbook, both being tough, but also being willing to strike a deal in this meeting with Donald Trump.
A deal that's a win-win for India and for the United States of America. And we'll be tracking that story very closely. Shashank, for the moment, many thanks for joining me.